The Burning Crusade Classic is finally set to return once again. The exact date remains unknown because Blizzard don't know how to communicate, but we know it's coming soon. And we all know that TBC is the peak expansion. However, can it be even more peak? In this video, I put forth amazing ideas that can make TBC even better. In vanilla WoW, players absolutely love, adore, dare I say, even cherish this really special thing called world buffs. To every classic player, there's nothing more fun than going all over Azeroth, collecting every buff possible so they can use insane artificial power to turn their characters into demigods, and absolutely destroy the most challenging raid content available. If you ask any classic WoW player, they'll tell you this is their favourite part of the game. There's really no better feeling than having a stacked chrono boon ready for the next raid, which is precisely why you'll see people practically begging Blizzard to enable world buffs for TBC. And you know what? I tend to agree. In the previous iteration of TBC Classic, world buffs were disabled past a certain level and couldn't be used in raids, which in my opinion really spoiled the fun and killed not only Outland, but Azeroth itself, as all anyone did was raid log. Now, anyone with a working brain will tell you that world buffs make the game 10 times better, and believe it or not, the original Blizzard developers did intend to allow world buffs in TBC raids. This is why you can obtain the buff Hellscream's War Song in Nagrand, a very powerful but familiar carbon copy of Warchief's Blessing from vanilla World of Warcraft, which increases your health, melee haste and mana regen. What if I told you that these buffs can actually stack? If you play it right, you could actually get both of these buffs at the same time and have 30% melee haste. Absolutely crazy. The cold hard truth is, the original Blizzard devs were absolutely cooking the most delicious meal imaginable with how these two buffs interact. Look at the insane attack speed here. Isn't it mental? It's literally like your character's just taken the most potent dose of pre-workout and supplemented that with 16 energy drinks. And the best part, this is the intended 2007 gameplay by the Blizzard devs. Everyone would love to have these two buffs at the same time, as it's a massive quality of life improvement for melee in TBC. I mean, sure, you'd have to go to UBRS and kill Rend so you can obtain Warchief's Blessing, but that's a 10-minute endeavour at level 70. It's literally no problem at all. And sure, in order to get Hellscream's War Song, you need to complete an incredibly long, difficult, and tedious 14-part quest chain, which does send you all over Outland, collecting and killing a variety of things. It also sends you into Orkanai crypts and makes you kill elite mobs that are impossible solo. But all in all, it would only take the average player around 8 solid hours to complete, and then you'd be able to get the double Warchief's Blessing Dream stack for raids. Isn't that amazing? It's really not that bad when you think about it. The melee haste is so worth a few hours of your time. Oh, and sure, Alliance can't be mind controlled to obtain buffs in TBC, so Blizzard would definitely need to change that back so the Alliance can sit around in Nagrand hoping and praying that the HSW Horde only guild doesn't find them and kill them when they get the buff. But it would keep Outland alive. Just imagine the immersive, emergent gameplay. I personally think it's time that TBC goes back to its original roots the way the developers intended. And that's not all. There's also a world buff called Blessing of Adao, which gives you 200 attack power and 115 spell damage. This is obtained from another lengthy quest chain, which, sadly, is only given to the person that turns in the quest. I think this should be changed so the buff drops to everyone in Shattrath, much like how Dragonslayer drops in Stormwind or Orgrimmar. That way, everyone can benefit. Then, if Blizzard allows the vanilla world buffs to be used at level 70, we'll have such a juicy 10 buff stack that would be so fun to get and use in raids. This would literally keep Azeroth and Outland alive. I'd even go as far as to say that there should be some brand new world buffs in Outland that we can find and use. Think about how exciting and fun it would be to discover brand new world buffs to raid Karazhan, like Illidan's Rage. Increases expertise by 10%, 15% haste to spells, 5 energy regen every 7 seconds. You could get this from turning in Illidan's head or blood. How sweet! Magferodan's Fury. Increases attack power by 350, spell damage by 275, makes the user occasionally belch green gas. Doesn't that sound amazing? Rallying Cry of the Sindor Eye. Increases melee and spell haste by 10%, expertise by 5%, and grants a slight lifesteal effect when dealing damage. However, they should make this a horde-only buff that only drops in Eversong Woods, and if Alliance wanna get it, they need to be mind-controlled. Terracone Serenade. If you couldn't tell by the name, this is basically an upgraded Songflower. However, only one person should be allowed to get this at a time, and it should be on a 6-hour cooldown. The Spirit of Zul'jin. Increases movement speed by 25% and allows you to double jump. It's also allowed in Arena. Now this would just be cool. This is really just the tip of the iceberg for my amazing ideas to make TBC Classic even better. But I must admit, the real reason I made this video was just to say, buff rogues.